So, okay, you guys gave your answers on that. So I'm curious. It sounds like you kind of said body count doesn't matter. We'll go around the table on this. What's your body count?
Lady never reveals her secrets.
I thought it doesn't matter, though.
I'm still a lady and I don't reveal my secrets.
Holly treats.
I put a lot out there, so there's plenty of find other than body count.
You should put a little more out there.
I'm not going to.
Because you said, well, I mean, okay, we know
we can count
we know
four.
Swingers
you can
Island.
Count 4 on my OnlyFans,
we know,
and we can count
the Swingers
four at
Island.
Swingers Island. That's 8 total. So
and then you said in high school there was.
Donated $100. If it matters, then my body count is 3. Your ability to hide the fact you've been run through by 10 plus guys is as obvious as your ability to hide the fact you can't move your forehead after Botox.
Babe, I go to the doctor and say, please freeze my face. Thank you for noticing. I pay a lot of money for it.
Your doctor did a really good job.
He did exactly what I told him to do. So,
hey, he noticed.
I'm just gonna say,
amazing.
I mean, I feel like if a man doesn't want that in their life, like if they don't want to accept a woman like that, like I don't think that you should bash a woman for that either. Like, you know,
and also, by the way, I don't want. So here's the flip side. I don't want a man with a low body count because I don't even care about this conversation, right? Like this is a conversation for people with low body counts. Yeah. I don't care. And I don't care what your opinion is. I don't want to have sex with you. Like it's like literally like not in my mind, right? So I'm like, so it's one of those things where when people bring up body count, it's just kind of like, okay, have fun in kindergarten. I'll talk to you later. It's just like it's just such a rudimentary conversation.
No, I think it's an important conversation.
I think it's an important conversation, but I don't I don't engage with that mentality. You know what I mean? Like I don't hang around people who are like so in that rabbit hole. You know what I mean? So
welcome to the Whatever podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is the Whatever podcast. But it's so I'm having a little bit of a culture shock right now. Where
this is a
culture
shock.
For me, it's a culture shock where I'm just kind of like,
wow.
What
the fuck is going on in OC?
No, but I think it's really important because again, a lot of women who want to wait until marriage, they go into like social media and they see a whole bunch of promiscuity. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of left with this thought of like, and this notion of like, okay, I should be doing the same thing because it's going to get me that's a specific lifestyle. And it's not until they experience all of these things with different men that they're like, oh snap, I'm empty, I'm sad, I have like this baggage. So it's a very, I know that you might not like to engage in this conversation, but I think that it's a very important one for at least, I know that the women that follow me, a lot of them are kind of like hoping and they're like, I'm waiting until marriage, but I want to know that it's worth it. It might be for some women.
I don't think it's worth it to wait until marriage.
Again, it might be for
my God, the biggest disappointment of your life is like, it's not that great. Like, it's like the worst. Oh my gosh. Anyway, back to your story.
The mileage is gone.
I would like to, I disagree.
I think I think statistically shown the people who have the best sex lives are people who have been happily married for their whole lives.
Yeah,
and that's the only partner they've
when
had.
you don't have.
Hold on.
Well, okay, think about it.
But that's the point.
Hold on.
The point is
guys,
for you not to compare.
One at a time.
One mic at a time.
So I think it's true. That because it's the only person you've been with, and then you don't have to matter about size. You don't have to. It doesn't matter about STD.
Well, think about it.
It doesn't permeate.
Well, think about it this way. Like, so you know so intimately this other person. You know them exactly what they like, how they like it. And you're able to provide that for them. And it is constantly learning and getting better and better as you age. So I think it's just true.
That's
I mean,
not true either.
I'm gonna say
it doesn't get better and better as you age.
But your looks,
I mean, but if you're not comparing them to 20 other people, like then you might like it more. I am gonna say like what I know now at 31, like I wish that I waited till marriage. Like I wish somebody like guided me into that direction because something like one of my friends told me her son just got engaged and both of them are virgins, and she was like, yeah, you know, I was like, it's beautiful that they're getting married so young. And she's like, yeah, you know, it's actually beautiful that they don't have anyone to compare themselves to. And that hit me because I was like, wow, like sometimes we don't love a person and we're like, we could be having sex with them and be like, this is whack because now you're looking at them through your other experiences, you know? And so I think there's beauty in being with the same person for the rest of your life.
Here, let's go around the table on the question, what's your body count?
My husband.
Okay, one.
Nice.
Into the mic.
I will give I will give a bracket. I
Sure.
will not give a number.
That's fine.
I've done about 50 scenes.
Okay.
And I've had about 50 to 100 private partners.
Okay.
I became sexually active.
Okay.
So that's,
Do you want to do that? Maybe a range type of thing?
Hell no.
Question.
Not with these people.
Who's these people?
This entire situation, hell no. I'm not going to put myself on a cross like that in front of you guys.
I've done
not
porn.
putting-
so-
no,
Continue
there's
down
no
the
cross.
line. Yes.
There's no cross.
Let's respect.
I
No,
have
let's
standards.
No, I
Let's
respect that. Yeah, I
Let's
respect
respect her
that.
boundary.
Yeah.
Let's respect her boundary.
Stop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
The only
no.
and also
I mean,
I'm
well,
comfortable.
I don't
no,
like
no,
that
hold on.
question either.
That
I don't
question's
like that
super
question.
offensive, and I won't let you
Yeah,
double
I
down
don't
on
like
it
that
with me. Keep going.
question.
What question?
Yeah.
Like
It's a
asking
woman's
people for
private
their body
business. You
count.
don't ever ask
And I
someone.
gave you
It's
an
like you don't
answer.
ask
The
the
answer
woman
is I
her
don't wanna
weight.
tell you.
Hold on. First off.
You asked
first off,
earlier, is it okay if I ask about your weight? Why didn't you ask her about that? It's the
what?
same thing. You asked
Ask
me
about-
earlier how much do you weigh now, if that's okay. That's
Well,
my
because your
personal
guys'
body.
first off, we're on the podcast having a debate and discussion about
I know.
this.
I'm just bringing up
So
a same
you guys
point.
don't need to like try to do some shaming and guilt like type of thing. Like if she doesn't want to answer, that's totally fine. I moved on, but then when you decided to give a range, I then brought it back to her. If she
Yeah.
felt more comfortable to give a range, if she doesn't want to answer, that's totally fine. Of course, I'm always curious if somebody states that body count doesn't matter, then shouldn't you ought to?
Yeah.
Context, I don't feel safe in this situation.
You don't feel
I don't feel emotionally
safe?
safe in
That's
this
why I
situation.
jumped in, because I know how
feel
she is.
safe.
If she doesn't feel safe, I'm going to protect her. That's why I'm
and I'm
jumping in.
I'm just not gonna
Yep.
open myself to trauma, right?
if she
like
said
I don't
no
want
once,
to.
she said
I'm
no.
trying to
She
avoid
shouldn't have to say it more than
unnecessary
once.
trauma in my life. So that question, thank you. Please move on. We discussed not picking up trauma for no reason as you go. That's part of it.
You're not obliged to answer the question. That's totally fine. But
Yeah.
I don't need the corresponding attitude that comes with your refusal to answer the
I think
question.
it's
If
only
you don't
'cause
want to
she
answer
kept-
the
you kept
question,
I feel
asking.
put
That's
on
why.
the spot right now, and I feel like why don't we just move on with this conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, I'm going to continue the conversation. If you don't want to answer the actual question that's directed at you,
I don't.
That's fine. However, I'm going to
It is-
continue
it is
talking
super,
about.
super hard for us women to talk about this because we are shamed for it. We are shamed for our sexuality. I'm sorry, but
Not
I'm
by
gonna
you,
put it out
everyone
there.
else.
Not by you. I'm not saying this is.
Yes, but men are discerning,
society.
just as women are discerning when it comes to who they choose to partner with. So just women have preferences,
I'm
standards, and
just
stop
saying
interrupting.
it's-
Just as women have plenty of standards, preferences, and boundaries, so too do men. Men are allowed to have preferences, standards, and boundaries when it comes to who they sleep with, have long-term relationships with, and marry. And one of those factors that's very important for men is past promiscuity, current promiscuity, and body count.
But there is a difference. If you ask a man who's on here, if she was a guy and you asked him and he said I had 100, dudes on here in the comments will be fucking you're the king.
Yeah,
If a
there's
woman-
differences.
No.
There's differences.
Yes, they are. But if a woman says she has a 200, she's a whore.
Yep.
So
That's
and
well,
I'm not.
I can tell you why.
Yes,
But why is it
you don't
okay
have
for a
to.
man?
So
Well,
because
I-
this
okay,
is what
so-
I'm saying. Whatever. It's she doesn't want to talk about it because she doesn't want to, and
That's fine.
final.
That's totally cool. I don't need the corresponding attitude. In any case, to answer your question, why is there this supposed double standard? And so I don't think that it's actually desirable for men to be particularly promiscuous and sleep with a bunch of women. My own personal standard is if I sleep with a girl, I want there to be continuity.
Yeah, of
I want to
course.
continue seeing her, so I'm not interested in just going from chick to chick to chick, just like
But not
one night stand,
everybody
one night
is
stand,
as
one night stand. Sure,
respectful
but
as
I
you are,
okay,
unfortunately.
but sure, but I don't think it's necessarily like it's not fucking high value or alpha. Like if you just sleep with a bunch of women and get herpes, and you're now bringing herpes to all your future partners.
no, I'm not
That's
saying
not,
you are.
No. Okay, so but
Not at
I
all.
can explain why this double standard exists, and it's primarily because getting sex for women is incredibly easy, whereas it's
I agree.
comparatively speaking, it's much harder for men.
Agreed.
Any woman, if she was so inclined, could be a slut. Not every guy can be a slut.
Agreed.
There are men who significantly struggle with dating, getting laid. Any woman, she can be overweight, she can be ugly. If she wants to, she can be a slut. Not every guy, her male looks equivalent, could not easily be a slut.
I don't disagree with you. The issue here is not all men are respectful in the way you are, where you actually want to meet somebody and have a connection.
Okay.
And that's the men that come at us with the attitude.
Yeah, but men get shamed for all kinds of things also.
They're not. I'm not saying they're not. I'm absolutely not saying, but
It's not affecting their insecurities and their confidence the way it affects us.
Let me ask
That's
the
what
table
it
a
is.
question. Is hookup culture a bad thing?
yes.
Terrible.
Okay, so you cannot have the corresponding belief that hookup culture is a bad thing, but we can, but shaming the behavior that facilitates hookup culture is undesirable. Shame is a very powerful tool, and frankly, I think we ought to shame. Let's say I'm trying to figure out how I best want to frame this. We should bring back shaming.
Yeah.
I'm in favor of shaming.
I do agree with you. The thing is, all women are different, right? All women
Nick, can you
have
give me a bottle of water?
gone through different trauma when it comes to relationships and when it comes to sexuality. And I
Okay.
think, well, they have.
Sure,
There
yeah,
is-
sure.
As well as men have. I'm not saying men are not without sexual trauma. Women and men don't talk about it, which is a shame because I think they should, because there is sexual trauma for men as well,
Bro,
and it
why-
should be discussed. But I'm not going any bad way. I'm just trying to say that we want to discuss different things.
Derpington 701 donated $100. Kendra, this is Brian's podcast. We understand you are triggered by the question. You are the guest. Be respectful and don't give him that sass while telling him what to do on his show.
It's called
Wait, am I? Does he think I'm Kendra?
No, it's me.
I
I'm
don't
because
know.
I
He knows
just
you're
popped
Kendra.
off.
Okay.
Actually, well, it was you three, and then you being like the sisterhood when
I
it
mean,
came to this question. But
It's all, we're here for a reason to have heated discussions and get there. If you found it disrespectful, I'm sorry.
We're sorry.
I was just
we did
getting.
not mean
I
to
just
disrespect
didn't
Yeah,
want
you.
to answer.
and I'm apologizing to you, not them, because they're the ones paying to talk. So go ahead, keep paying to talk to us. I appreciate it. Thank you.
but Carla, I mean, or
Kendra.
no, well, you're
Oh,
Carla.
Carla.
You objected to me asking this question. Perhaps you think it's rude to ask a woman's body count, but I mean, in one of your videos, which we're going to get to here in a sec, you say that within my understanding, you advise women within the first 3 dates to your husband, if I recall, you found out his credit score, his bank statements.
Hell yeah.
You found out how much money
Everything.
he had saved.
Everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if women are able to ask that question, I think
I
men
didn't
are
ask the
just as.
question.
Huh?
I didn't ask that question.
Oh,
He
well, he
showed
just
me.
shared it. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Shared it.
He was proud. He was proud. He was confident.
Okay.
He wanted to show
Yeah.
me.
Sure,
man.
that's fine.
Do you
but if-
advocate for women asking for that information?
So usually, that's actually a great question. I usually say no. I say that a man who's like happy where he's at, where like we want to meet men who are at their peak. I say they will naturally just show you, and you'll if you are like
I'm not showing that shit.
well, no. I know. It depends, right? It depends. It depends. And and it depends what type of woman you have in front of you, because you'd be surprised when you find that woman that like truly like inspires you to be the best man you want to be. Like you do things that you never thought you would, and that's a man in love. So I actually tell my ladies to not ask, to let him kind of like show you, because I think it's a little rude. And most of the time, provider mindset men or men who are at their peak and extremely confident where they are, and they want that woman, they want to show them the resources. This is what I got. Is this enough for you? Because that's what he's saying. Whenever a man shows you everything, he's like, is this enough for you? Can you live within my means? Can you live within this?
Okay,